So they asked me on the news, is it true from that article that no one's supposed to yell Rudy, Rudy when they see you on the course? I said, let me put it this way. They can yell anything they want at me on one condition. If I'm on the ground, they gotta pick me up and carry me where I'm going. The phrase I came up with, I was trying to think of some good way to encapsulate what I think about this. To have 2,300 Marines and Coast Guards, men and women, and other members of the armed services come out and work in the nation's capital and the country they defend in support of civilians is an experience that I'm not too sure you can have in a lot of other countries in the world. So my parents taught me when I was very young that when you see a service member in the airport or wherever, that you're supposed to look at them and say thank you for your service. It's amazing to see Marines looking back the other way and supporting you. It's kind of surreal, and sort of strange, and to be doing it in the nation's capital with all the history and the monuments. It's just it's going to be overwhelming. I actually love the District of Columbia. When I heard that the race was here, I just started getting really excited. So what else can I say? To be the official starter seems inappropriate somehow. Surely somebody with who's stronger, faster should be the one doing that. But I'm proud to assume that role. I did in Virginia. Marines are tough, but what I learned in Virginia is they're also really polite. I do have a bit of guidance for anybody who is on the track though and interacts with a Marine. If a Marine offers you water, you take it. Thank you, Carmen. Also the volunteers. The volunteers who are out there, they make the race. Anybody who's ever done anything, I served on a council, the President's Council on Service and Civic Participation, and the mission of the council was to promote a culture of volunteerism and civic engagement. And one of the many things I learned is that most events cannot function without the dedicated service of volunteers, and the Marine Corps Marathon is no exception. So I really just, on behalf of all the participants, I'd like to say thank you to the volunteers for coming out and doing what you do. And then, of course, you've got you've got the unwitting tourists. You're welcome. We'll say that because they're going to experience something that they had no idea they were going to experience when they came to Washington on Sunday. But to all the people who come out and support, to the locals who step up and come out of their houses and take a little bit of their Sunday to cheer for the runners, and for families and friends and other runners, and supporters who come out, it just means the world to you. And I've studied the map closely, and I know that in the dog miles of the marathon, in the mid-teens and late teens, we're going right through the sweet spot of the Capitol, and that's where I would suspect most of the people will be. So you just feel that they're gonna lift you up. So my little running thing is an inspirational Twitter campaign that I started in, I think, 2010, something like that, 2012, and the LA Marathon had challenged all of the participants to run for something. And in this room, nobody's a stranger to the idea of service and dedication and doing things on behalf of other people. But I think I might have led a somewhat insular life, at least as it regards running. So when I kept thinking, what am I supposed to run for? Surely all of us have run for, you do a 10K that's a cancer research 10K, or you do a, kind of cause-specific runs. But the idea of saying, I'm going to run, and I'm going to dedicate this particular run to something or to somebody, it kind of bent my brain a little bit. And I thought, running is selfish for me. It's really selfish. It's my thing. I'm alone in a sense. I'm not. I'm in the world, and when you do events, you're with 30,000 other people. But I which is one of the things I absolutely love, is that you get to be with other people. But I wanted to keep that. So I said, you know what, first I'm going to run for myself. And then I have a beautiful wife of 23 years and 3 daughters, 18, 12, soon to be 18. I keep practicing. I say their names before they turn the next age, just so it doesn't hurt as bad when they get there. So next month, my daughter will be 18, the oldest, and then then you got 12 and 9. So I dedicate so second I run for them. And then third, I decided I didn't want to run for any one particular thing. You know, our family's been touched by many of the things that most American families, or many, are touched with: suicide, or bipolar disorder, or cancer, all the different things the challenges that affect us. And I didn't know how to pick just one, so I decided I'll pick all of them. And I said I'm going to run third for you, meaning the public. So it's a Twitter thing. And when I saw the Arab Spring, I was like, ooh, Twitter. Let's see what that's about. So it's a hashtag RUN3RD, and I invite other people to make dedications, run third for. And then my friend Linda has printed out somewhere near 500 of them, as the other day, and printed in size 6 font. Did you know you could use size 6 font? And then I'm going to roll it up, and I'm going to carry it with me. Just a couple of them that jump out. Run third for those struggling with mental illness, for those developmental disabilities, and for all my fellow cancer fighters. Run third for both my dad, Dale, who would have been 63 this year, and also for my friend Scott, both Marine vets. Run third for soldiers and families dealing with PTSD. Run third for my grandma, who's recovering from sickness right now, and for all those in the Middle East affected by ISIS. Yeah, okay, so it goes on, there's 500 of them. So, and then I'll have on my hat the hashtag run third. So I'm grateful to the Marine Corps because this is the most amount of dedications that we've had to print out on anything. And it's because the United States Marine Corps is beloved by the nation, and people like to support the Marines. And when I put the Marine Corps logo up on my Facebook page and asked people to make dedications, it just flooded in. So I appreciate Marine Corps helping to fuel an interesting little idea I had to get people to think a little bit outside of themselves. Not that they wouldn't normally, but there's something to be prompted to say, hey, who would you run for right now? So that's my little thing, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, United States Marine Corps, for letting me run in the race. I expect to do it in a not quite record-breaking time. There's a little tinge of it. There's a little bitter thing. I announced in the Marine Corps website, and on May 1st-ish, somewhere in there, Tammy, I don't know what it was, but that I was going to go sub-4. I was going to break my personal record of 4:04 in that incredible barrier. Well, after nearly 600, just about 600 miles of training, it's clear to me that that's not going to happen. But I'm hoping to get between my first and my personal best and the second. So I'm hoping to get around 4:10. So if the wind abates, there's a chance. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. God bless the United States of America, and God bless the Marine Corps. Thank you.